I think it was in 1972, Patrick was offered a job, believe it or not, as a computer analyst in Toronto. Thank God he didn't make it.
Patrick was lucky, I was lucky, and the others were lucky. We worked in the heyday of television journalism.
At the beginning of every year, our CBC foreign correspondents come home for a few days. They meet with their editors to discuss the problems of their particular news beats. At the end of the table is Patrick Brown, who is based in London for CBC Radio News. This past summer, Patrick spent much of his time covering the Lebanon War from his assignment in Beirut.
Israel would no doubt like the world to see this as a kind of cleanup operation.
Well, the reason we have two people or more covering these conflicts is that there are two sides to the story. I mean, that's the whole point.
I think he was different from a lot of other correspondents in that through his language abilities, through his intelligence, the man is incredibly brilliant. He just absorbed information, and he was just able to kind of get inside the story and tell the story to Canadians in a way that was really unique.
School here in Baghdad starts at 8 o'clock in the morning, midnight Eastern Standard Time. In a few moments from now, this will be one of the most dangerous places in the world. The collapse of the Ceausescu regime has left Romania in confusion and turmoil. They went through the wall in droves, and they're coming home in droves.
You can go abroad, you can look at a complicated international situation, and it could really overwhelm you. Doubly so if you try to kind of figure out, well, how do you tell it in a way that really resonates with people you know back home? And I think that he mastered both parts of this game.
You cannot tell the story of war if what you're seeing is a game of cowboys and Indians. And so we take very great care to, one of the most moving things that I did was to go into a hospital after the Iraqis had pulled back from a town in northern Iraq. They started, just out of sheer spite, shelling randomly the civilian areas, and there were tiny children with shrapnel wounds in these hospitals, and it's an extremely distressing sight, but it's very much a part of the story that we have to tell if we're covering war zones.
The title of his book is A Butterfly Mind. Well, we are quintessentially butterflies. We flit from one place to another.
He's not an outsider to the culture, and I think the quality and the nature of his reporting, to a Canadian audience is not something that appears to be kind of alien.
There might be a good deal more untidiness once the result is announced.
After you've been to so many places, dozens of them, revolutions, wars, whatever it is, you start putting it together and you finally start understanding things.
To suddenly, just find himself in some goddamn village in the middle of nowhere and having to get that soundbite, and he does it.
But when there is return fire, the people are caught in the middle, as were cameraman Rick DeBrookie and I last night, pinned down by heavy automatic weapons fire outside a hotel under attack.
So I have nothing but admiration and pride for our friend Mr. Brown, although don't tell him I said that.
He was very succinct.
I think he's impatient to kind of get to the core of stories.
A story that the audience will recognize as something human.
For some leaders of the 1989 protest movement, the road from Tiananmen Square to exile took days or weeks. For Liu Gang, it's been 7 long, hard years.
Something I admire about Patrick is his skepticism, but with a delightful lopsided smile and that almost evil laugh of his.
The information minister even invited us tonight to come over and stay at his place if we're worried about safety. We're not going to do that.
Au cirque, l'essentiel, c'est surprenant.
Yeah, don't bother to protect the correspondent. You doing a little American baseball there? Just checking.
So I don't like that at all. It's full of fluff. I don't like that either.
The one thing that Patrick and I and others, I think, all agree upon, being paid to go around the world and watch the universe unfold, That's great.
There was and has been something unique in this man's career that really benefited us for many, many years. And I hope we as journalists and as managers, particularly here in Canada, can come up with ways of ensuring that, that many other Patrick Browns are sent abroad to help Canadians better understand the world.
Patrick Brown, CBC News, Arad, Romania. Budapest, Bucharest, West Berlin, East Berlin, London, South Lebanon, Amman, Lochmagori, Delhi, Beijing.